Hey, Fight fans, Maddie Levine here, back on the 1-2 punch, and I'm here with the star of the week, the week one winner of the PFL Challenger Series, Thad Jean. What is going on, Thad?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show. And again, I love that intro. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no
that.
worries. I mean, all I keep hearing is this name, Thad. I mean, how does it feel to be the week one winner in such an amazing fashion? You got a couple days under your belt. What are the emotions like now?
It's just exciting that, that the fight is over with, the whole prep, it never really stops the prep, but like, the weight cut part, the fight, the anxious, the anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety that goes into just walking into the cage, but you just have to fight it off and just get it over with. But once that's over with and when that's all done and getting another win under the belt, it feels amazing, and especially getting that first win in the first week of the Challenger Series for PFL, it definitely feels like, dang,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
It was quite the performance, and now you're going to have an even bigger fan base, which is so exciting. But I want to know, who is Thad Jean? How did you get started in this world of MMA? Because it's certainly not for everyone.
No, it's not for everyone, but I've always, like I said, I've always watched. I'm such an anime weeb. I love watching anime. I love everything about anime. I love fight, and I've watched fighting anime ever since I can remember. Honestly, ever since I can remember, I come home from school, rush, did my homework just so I could watch some anime. And I played sports my whole life, and I had an injury in football, and it made me have to stop doing football, playing football, and I prayed, and finally someone told me about fighting, and I was like, I could look like an anime character. I mean, I could really be an
Okay.
anime character. You know what I mean? And ever since I started my first day training, getting beat up, like I got beat up first day because I'm a bigger guy, and
Hmm.
I went in there with confidence because of football and all the sports I played my whole life. I've always had like that confidence to me. But going in there, getting beat up, I was like, okay, here's a challenge I want to accept, you know?
Yeah.
And it's been fun. It's been great.
So, how many years have you been doing that so far?
6 to 7 years now.
Okay, so we're
Yeah. So
certainly
very
getting
pretty.
there.
Yeah, very, very still recent comparison to a lot of people. But just dedicated to it, dedicated to just learning, growing, being a baby each time I go into the gym. I'm not going into the gym thinking I'm the wise one. I'm going into the gym trying to become a nurtured baby. You know what I mean? Just trying to
Yeah.
soak up as much as I can.
Is your fight name the Silverback? Is that an anime reference? Was that a given name to you? Tell me about that.
No, so it's weird. I had a dream, and in my dream, it was like a lucid dream, but where you can I don't know if you had lucid dreams before, and
Yeah, for sure.
having these lucid dreams, you can like you can tell who the people are even though they don't introduce themselves. And I had two silverback gorillas with me, two big ones, and to me they were my guardian angels. And from there, I like I like to express how I am with using them as an image. They look huge. They're huge gorillas, and I was like, these guys are powerful. I want to be that. I want to be something intimidating like they are, but they're also gentle. So gentle, but also can be intimidating as well, and that's where the name came from.
Yeah, that's cool. Lucid dreams can be a little scary sometimes.
Yeah, they
It's like,
definitely can.
wait a second, what's happening here? What does
Yeah,
this mean? So that's
it's
cool that
just
you were able to find a message out of it, which is really nice. So you have found yourself under the guidance of Jay-Z Cavalcante, who is a legend in his own right. And
yeah.
I actually got to know you at your pro debut at CES MMA, which is a local show where I'm at in New
I do
England.
remember.
Yeah, and Jay-Z has fought for them as well. That dude has the most fun I have ever seen a fighter have, especially for his walkout.
Yeah.
Do you channel that energy when you're fighting yourself? And what is it like training under somebody like Jay-Z?
The thing is, one of the reasons why me and Jay Z hit it off so quickly when I first started training with him is because of the way how he walks out and how I like to make a. I'm not like him at all, and when it comes to walking out. But I do like to, when I'm walking into a cage, like have like that character. If you see me walking into a cage, I like to do a gorilla crawl. And Jay-Z loves it. He's like he loves the way I make that character. I can, I enjoy myself, and when I just relate to him in that aspect of like enjoying the moment. He enjoys the moment as he's walking out. He's, doing a little dance, fist bumping everyone. He's just having a good time because, again, like I said, it is a little anxious, it's a little scary sometimes taking that walk, but being able to channel those nerves and just have a good time and enjoy the moment is what makes you a better fighter, I should say, at the same time.
And I think enjoying the moment is certainly important, especially when you're doing something you love. But I think it's safe to say that sometimes the bright lights, the crowd, even the level of organization like PFL can get to a person's head. So how were you able to stay so grounded for such a big opportunity?
So I don't know. It's never actually affected me because ever since I can remember growing up, my parents being leaders in the church, my dad being a pastor, them raising me in the church, always having to go on the stand, say a couple of verses, being that kid, everyone staring at you, making sure you say it the right way, playing the drums, making sure you don't mess up notes or anything like that. I think just growing up and already been nurtured in the limelight, it doesn't affect me at all. I actually love it. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait till everyone can see like what I've been doing. I'm actually excited to show my skills and put them on display.
Yeah, and you certainly did that a couple days ago.
Thank you.
It was an exciting performance, and looking back on it now, are you satisfied, or do you feel like you are just scratching the surface on that potential?
Honestly, I could have done way, way more, but I don't know if you watch the fight back, it was just the canvas was slippery for me. I kept slipping, and you can see that every time I'm pressing my opponent against the cage. I like look down and turn around and try to walk back to the center of the cage, because in the center of the cage it was where the logo was, and it was a little rubbery, and I had grip.
Right.
And I just didn't have the right footing to be able to do my attacks. And I threw a high kick and I slipped as well. And I was like, damn, I can't really throw anything effectively other than my straights right now, which was great. It paid off but I was able to adapt in the situation that was given to me. So that was also cool too, to be able to learn how to adapt. Like, I have to adapt on the spot. I have to be able to fight this opponent. And if I complain, I went to the corner, I told Jay-Z and Daniel, I keep slipping. They were like, shut up. Who cares? If you're slipping, he's slipping.
Right.
You have to adapt,
right.
It was like, you have to adapt. You have to get used to it. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let me stop making excuses. Thank you for that. That's how they know to talk to me that way, because, I hate making excuses. I need to be told right away, hey, listen, relax, do what you got to do. And with them telling me that, I was able to, all right, let's just keep walking back to the middle of the cage. And every time it comes close to you, let's do something, counter,
Right.
do something.
Right. I mean, that could get into a lot of fighters' heads. So I commend you for being able to stay grounded, because there's nothing worse than not having your feet under you when you're fighting. So to be able to adapt, I commend you on that. Leading up to this fight night, your team in general kind of had a roller coaster going on. Your teammate taking a fight, what was it, 24 hours notice, and not only doing that, but getting the only finish of the night. So got to give a shout out to Kenley St. Louis for completely showing up and showing out. Did that, I don't want to call it drama, but did that add a certain level of stress for you, or were you just excited for him during that lead up?
It was, I thought, I'm always happy for everyone. I can never, if someone is, I'm always encouraging someone to push themselves. And if opportunity knocks and you can accept it, I'm your number one fan when it comes to it. So when we get the call, I'm in a tub trying to sweat off the last 6 pounds. Killing comes in and tells me, hey, Thad, they gave me an opportunity to take a fight against I forgot his opponent's name, but he tells me his
Nick
opponent's
Alley.
name. Nick Alley. And me, no offense, I'm like, let's look at his record. Because we look at records just to see where's his experience level. You know, let's look at his record. Okay. You know, I don't want to say, okay, let's accept the fight because this is also his career. This is a huge stage. I'm like, okay, you know, let's look at his opponent. Let's do some studying. I'm in the tub while I'm watching this guy's past fights. And I'm like, we're accepting it. We're not going to look back. We're going to accept it. And, you know, it's a different thing for someone else to say you accept it. You got to accept it as the actual opponent. And telling Kinley, hey, we're accepting it. This is what we've been talking about before we came here. Like, opportunity is going to present itself. We're not gonna wait for the doors to close. You know, let's take it while we can and while it's there. And thank God he did, because, like you said, the only finish of the night. It was a last minute notice, and I think that deserves a lot of recognition that he did that.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think that's the perfect lesson for a lot of people is like, you know, when it comes to your fight career, you want it to be the perfect matchup. You want to have time to prepare. You want to make sure, okay, like, do I know who I'm fighting? But sometimes it's like, yo, if the opportunity's knocking, like, you just got to take it. So I commend him for that. But it's almost like you can't write this shit. You two are tied to become like the last two. One of you guys is getting the contract. It's like I'm watching a movie, right?
Yeah.
And it comes down to that last vote. And who gives you that last vote? The president, Ray Sefo. So walk me through when he announced your name and you realized that you just became a PFL fighter.
It was joy. I was just like I was super happy. My family was in the crowd, you know. Family was there. My brother, my partner, my training partner was also right next to me with the opportunity. And when I got the validation from the owner of this fight league, it was just I just smiled. You know, you just can't, like, you know, I just smiled. I don't know what to say. It was amazing. It was such a great feeling, you know, when you can see that such people in such high positions are recognizing you for what you're accomplishing. It was like, all right, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Sometimes like words just don't even feel right, you know? It's
exactly.
Like,
it's just like,
wow, just soaking it in. That's so exciting. I feel that. Oh man, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It's like I can only imagine like the lights, your name getting called, and it's like you had so many people there for you. So it was really cool to have. So is Deerfield Beach where your gym at is that near Orlando? Is that Orlando? No.
No. So it's about a 4-hour drive.
Oh, okay. So people took the drive.
Yeah.
So
but with that, I do know some people that from high school who went to college up here who also came from Tallahassee, which is probably another 2-hour drive, 3-hour drive.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, people showed up for you. That's exciting.
Yeah, it was a blessing.
So I got a little birdie told me that you had some really awesome sessions leading up to this fight with, you know, casual people, Gilbert Burns, Vitor Belfort, Gregory Robocop, people like that. What was it like being able to train with that high caliber and be able to bring it into your next fight?
Again, like, you know, so Daniel is doing personal sessions with these guys. Damon is such a great striking coach. Let me just put that out there. He's such a great striking coach, and he's doing personal training sessions with these guys, getting them ready for their upcoming fights. And who does he call to come help out? He calls me, and to be able to, you know, I'm smiling now. It's just like to be able to be like called out.
Yeah, they called me. It's whatever.
Exactly. I don't want to say it. I don't got the hair, but I do want to flick it. and it was just like, wow, like, wow, you know, like, wow, like,
yeah.
This is the opportunity. This is an opportunity, you know. First, I trained with Gregory to get him ready for Chini's fight. And right there, you know, you realize, okay, I'm a good fighter, but this is high level. I have to work to this. This is what I need to train for. And ever since I started training with working Gregory, I've been nonstop. I brought in IHP where him and Gilbert actually train for strength conditioning. You probably saw some videos of not Gregory, but Gilbert doing some strength conditioning at a spot, and that's IHP. And I was like, you know what? I need to copy what they're doing. And now I'm training more often with Daniel Mendez and doing more wrestling and everything just to make sure that my game isn't, there's no holes in my game. And after that, I get to train with Gilbert Burns. Well, yes. First, it's Beecher Belfort. And man, that was, this guy just has so much knowledge. He's been in the game for so long. For him to drop so much just knowledge after knowledge after knowledge on me, and just, again, it was just like, wow, I'm being blessed. I need to soak all this in. I need to be a baby. I need to be a baby willing to learn and soak up everything and just be with a legend. I was just like, wow, I'm able to help this guy too. I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. There's nothing I'm not doing. There are other things I could do better. Yeah, of course. There's always something that we could do better, but I'm on the right path. And then for that to happen, he calls up Ray Seppel, tells him, hey, this guy is the one that you really want to have on your team. Then Ray Seppel gives me the call, tells me, hey, I want you in a Challenger Series. Again, I'm on the right path. You know what I mean? And then after that, Daniel also calls me up to help Gilbert get ready for No Magny. Man, I've never felt such top pressure in my life. This guy Gilbert took me down. And when he took me down, I was like, I felt like I was being washed. Where, when, not trying to washed, but like this guy was on top of me. I was like,
like being stuck under a wave or something like that. Like,
and I was just like,
but now you get to take that opportunity and apply it to your own game, which is incredible.
Exactly.
And coming from a person where I saw you for your professional debut, that was 5 fights ago. That was the old Thad. I mean, granted, I believe you finished him in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. Rear naked choke, possibly.
No, it was the third round. I don't know.
Oh, it was the third round. Oh, okay. All right.
Knocked him the first 2 rounds, but it was the third round.
Okay. So it's coming back to me now. So, what would you say is the biggest difference between that fighter when it was fight number 1 of your pro career and now fight number 5?
More confidence to let my skills go on. Just I knew I was a good fighter back then. But I know I'm a good fighter now, and that the only way I continue being a good fighter is to not go into the cage and become tunnel vision. Only work on one craft. Why would I work on one thing if I worked 1,000 things back in the training camp? That's what happens. This is why fighters lose, when you're like, oh, he's such a great fighter. I didn't know what happened to him. Well, he got tunnel visioned. He got in his head too much. I know he could have done better. I'm beating myself up because I know I could have done better. Well, I don't want that to be my answer ever. I never want that to be my answer. That's such a, if I want to lose, I want to be demolished. I want my opponent to have demolished me, not because of my mistakes.
Like,
you know what I mean?
out swinging. Yeah.
So it's now that I know, okay, that was Thad, but now Thad knows every time you go into that cage, you need to be you. It's nothing different from you sparring to you going in the cage. And that's one of the things I've really learned, is that there's no difference. All you got to do is just do what you've been doing.
And I think it's just a matter of channeling the nerves, because I think it's safe to say we all get nervous, but I think it's how you use those nerves and apply those nerves. So that's really cool. So now that you're, hey, PFL fighter, what's up? You must have been looking at the roster. Do you have any names in mind for your first big fight? You can say it. Come on.
I feel like if they wanted to be a bang, they're probably gonna put me against Delano Taylor for the first fight. But he just went to the end of the Challenger Series, so I'm not calling anyone out. But I feel like that's how they'll go. Because hey, Thad, they won against each other they won against each other as amateurs. Thad beat him. Delano Taylor just was a Challenger Series winner last year, but then also went to the finals for the PFL series. Thad just won this year our Challenger Series. Let's see what happens. Let's let that clash happen again. That's what I think will happen. But if anything, I'm ready to fight anyone. I don't know if I kind of want to fight that the Russian guy, Nagmanevov, something like that. I just always want to fight one of those. Nurmagomedov, sorry.
Nagomedovs.
Yeah, they're coming in hot. And I feel
Listen,
like those are
they
nice
are. I'm pretty sure there's a Nagomedov in every single organization right now.
Exactly, and they're all good.
They're all killers. So
all good.
if that's the first fight you get, Godspeed. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, whatever. Godspeed. It's
gonna be great.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. So I have to ask, everybody's talking about Thad this week, but a lot of people love talking about Logan Paul and him being signed to the PFL. It's a big moment. What are your thoughts on PFL signing somebody like Logan?
Jake.
Is it Jake?
I think so.
This is how much I listen to the Paul family.
I think it's fantastic though.
Okay.
I honestly think it's the best move they could have made. I think, in my opinion, okay, so who are we looking at? UFC is on the top right now, right? And when it comes to views, I feel like with everyone hating the UFC with the way they pay their fighters, with now everybody wanting to see, let's say Mr. Paul, go into
It's Jake. I fucked up.
Go into an MMA fight or an actual fight. I think with his 20 plus million followers and views that he can bring to the MMA world and what he wants to do with payouts, with interview and everything, I think it'll be such a big boom that PFL will eventually be the highest viewed martial arts platform once they see how the PFL runs their platform on the good fighter gets to the end and that there are frequent fights and that you'll frequently see this good fighter. It's not like you will, it's not like, hey, I won in January. You won't see me fight again until December. Come on. Right. What type of weight is that when it comes to fighters? So I like the way the PFL is, running their fights, and with bringing in Mr. Paul, it'll bring more views to the organization, and other people will see, hey, this is actually a really cool platform. I think this is the one I want to stick with.
Yeah, it was certainly a good marketing move on their end, and to get somebody like of that status is a big deal. And Jake continues to show that he means business. I know he typically fights at 185, but maybe he'll come down for MMA. So I don't know if that's something you're interested in.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure he'll definitely, if he's smart, he'll definitely go down to 170. You don't want to stay in the 185s. I mean, it was cool for boxing, but now we're doing MMA. It's a different ball game. And if he's smart, he'll go down to the 170. And if I could as I keep rising up in this platform with fights and stardom, I think going against Jake Paul will be fantastic.
All right, so maybe we'll see Thad Gene versus Jake Paul. Who knows? Yeah. That'd be dope. Before I let you go, I'm gonna shoot it over to the fans who had a couple questions for you online. I'm a guess this is your coach coming after you, Daniel Mendes.
Yeah.
Did you already decide to not be late to the 10:30 a.m. sessions anymore in 2023?
No, I've decided to amp up the amount of money I'm going to bribe him with when I'm late. So.
Sounds like you got to get there on time, bud.
On time. Like he is not playing. He does not care.
So this one is funny. My good friend from Caged In Podcast says, who wins in a fight, a silverback gorilla or a grizzly bear?
I want to go back and say a silverback gorilla, but a grizzly bear is a monster.
Yo, they're crazy.
They are
I mean,
scary.
they're both honestly, I don't want to be in a fight with either of those. So that would be
They're actually
intense.
scary.
Brandon asks, what is the first thing that comes to mind? What is the first thing that comes to mind when you're about to fight? That's a tough one.
I'm thinking of God. Like, okay, if I have God with me, there's nothing to be afraid of, and I'm going to destroy this guy. It's constantly going back to God. So that's the first thing that goes into my mind is, God, let's go. God, you take control of everything. Please don't leave me. Don't give me anything. I just need you to take control. That's my mindset.
That's
every
awesome.
single time.
Yeah, you can't touch that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll end it with my last question. Your audience and your fan base is about to grow thanks to being a PFL contender. What do you hope that these new supporters see when they get exposed to Thad Gene? Like, what do you hope to portray to the fight community?
A different mindset. That you're as great as you want to be. If you want to be the best in the world, yeah, have that dream. But work as if you just asked to be the best in the world. You know what I mean? It's not something small, but you can also do it. It's like, I want to be like another beacon of hope for people in a positive way.
I love that. I love your energy. I love your spirit. And I'm really excited to follow your career with your next step in the PFL.
Thank you. I appreciate that.